Hello, Capricorn. Come sit with me for a moment because I just did a reading that I think you really need to hear. You know that person from your past, that connection that ended but still lingers in your mind sometimes? There are words left unsaid, feelings unexpressed. And today the cards are going to help us uncover what your ex has been holding back. I shuffled the deck with your energy in mind, asking the universe to reveal those unspoken truths. And what came through is honestly so revealing. Before we dive in, I just want to say that this reading is meant to bring you clarity, not to reopen old wounds. Whatever comes through, receive it with an open heart, but also with the wisdom that you've gained since this relationship ended. The cards don't lie, and sometimes what we discover might surprise us, might even shift our entire perspective on what actually happened between two people. So I laid out the cards, and right away I could feel this energy of things left unsaid, of moments where your ex wanted to speak but held back. Let me walk you through what came up, card by card, because each one reveals a different layer of what's been sitting in their heart. The first card that appeared is the Nine of Pentacles. And I have to tell you, this card speaks volumes about how your ex sees you now, even after everything that's happened. The Nine of Pentacles is all about independence, self-sufficiency, and someone who has built something beautiful for themselves. What your ex wants to tell you, Capricorn, is that they see how well you're doing without them. They notice your growth, your success, the way you've cultivated your life into something stable and abundant. This isn't just about material success, though that might be part of it. It's about the energy you carry, the way you've become more self-assured, more grounded in who you are. Your ex is watching from a distance, maybe through social media, maybe through mutual friends, or perhaps just through the energy that travels between people who once shared something deep. And what they want to say is that they're genuinely impressed. There's this recognition that you didn't fall apart without them, that you actually flourished. For a Capricorn, this makes so much sense because you're someone who takes breakups and transforms them into fuel for personal growth. You don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself for too long. You get up, you make plans, you build something better. But here's the deeper layer of what the Nine of Pentacles is revealing. Your ex wants to tell you that seeing your independence has made them realize what they lost. There's a quality to this card that speaks of luxury and refinement, of someone who knows their worth and doesn't settle for less than they deserve. Your ex is recognizing that you embodied these qualities even during the relationship, but maybe they didn't fully appreciate it at the time. Now, seeing you thrive on your own, there's this awareness that you are always going to be fine with or without them. And that realization hits differently when you're no longer together. This card also suggests that your ex wants to acknowledge your strength. Capricorns have this incredible ability to stand alone, to not need anyone even when they choose to be with someone. Your ex might have felt threatened by this during the relationship, or maybe they feel regretful about it now. Either way, the unspoken message here is respect. They respect what you've built for yourself. They respect your ability to move forward with grace. And part of them wonders if they made a mistake in letting someone so capable and self-sufficient walk away from their life. Moving to the second card, we have the Five of Swords, and this is where things get a bit more complicated. This card carries energy of conflict, of battles fought and won, but at what cost? What your ex wants to tell you but hasn't found the words for is that they know the relationship ended in conflict. There were arguments, misunderstandings, moments where both of you said things that cut deep. The Five of Swords often appears when someone is reflecting on a situation where they might have won the argument but lost something more valuable in the process. Your ex wants you to know that they replay certain conversations in their mind. There were moments during the breakup or even leading up to it where things were said out of anger, out of hurt, out of pride. The Five of Swords suggests that your ex is carrying some guilt about how things went down. Maybe they said something particularly harsh. Maybe they fought dirty when they should have fought fair. Or maybe they simply refuse to see your perspective because they were so focused on being right. This card tells me that your ex understands. Now that some of those conflicts were unnecessary, they were power struggles that didn't need to happen, disagreements that escalated because neither person wanted to back down. And here's what's interesting about this energy with you being a Capricorn. You probably stood your ground during those conflicts because Capricorns don't crumble under pressure. You likely gave as good as you got, and your ex remembers that. They remember that you weren't someone they could just steamroll or manipulate into submission. What they want to tell you is that they see now how some of those fights were really about. Deeper issues that neither of you addressed properly. The Five of Swords can indicate that there was a winner and a loser mentality in the relationship, where conversations turned into competitions. Your ex might want to say that they wish things had been different, that they wish both of you had approached conflicts with more maturity, more willingness to truly listen rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. There's also an element of defeat in this card. Your ex might feel like they lost you in a battle that didn't need to be fought. They might be sitting with the realization that their ego or their need to be right cost them a relationship with someone who actually brought a lot of value to their life. The Five of Swords often comes up when someone is in that post-battle reflection phase, looking at the empty victory and wondering if it was worth it. Your ex wants you to know that they're in that space, recognizing that winning the argument meant losing you. And that trade-off doesn't feel like a victory anymore. The third card is the Three of Pentacles. And this brings in a completely different energy. This is a card about collaboration, teamwork, and building something meaningful together. What your ex wants to tell you, Capricorn, is that they valued what you two created together. This might be literal things like a home you decorated together, plans you made, goals you worked toward as a couple. But it's also about the intangible things you built, the inside jokes, the shared memories, the way you functioned as a team when you were at your best. The Three of Pentacles suggests that your ex recognizes you were a good partner in the practical sense. You showed up, you did your part, you contributed to the relationship in meaningful ways. For a Capricorn, this makes perfect sense because you're someone who takes partnerships seriously. You don't just coast in relationships, you actively work to build something stable and lasting. Your ex wants to acknowledge that effort now. They want to tell you that they saw how much you invested in making things work. How you were always thinking about the future, always planning and building towards something better. What's particularly interesting about this card is that it often appears in work contexts, and I think that's significant here. Your ex might want to say that you two worked well together. There was a synergy when you were aligned, when you were both pulling in the same direction. Maybe you supported each other's careers. Maybe you collaborated on projects or shared goals. Or maybe you just had this really effective way of dividing responsibilities and making life work smoothly. But the Three of Pentacles also hints at something bittersweet. It's a card about recognition and mastery, about skills being acknowledged. Your ex wants you to know that they recognize your skills now, your contributions, the ways you made their life better through your practical support and your willingness to build something together. There might be regret wrapped up in this, a sense of why didn't I appreciate this more while I had it. The Three of Pentacles can indicate that your ex is realizing that finding another partnership that functions as smoothly, that has the same level of compatibility in the day-to-day aspects of life, isn't as easy as they might have thought it would be. This card also speaks to mutual respect between colleagues or collaborators. And I think your ex wants you to know that they respect you. Beyond the romance, beyond the emotional components of your relationship, there was respect for who you are as a person, what you bring to the table, how you handle your responsibilities. They want to tell you that they miss having a partner who was as reliable and as committed to building something real as you were. Now we come to the fourth card, and this is the Hierophant. This card carries such significant weight because it's about tradition, commitment, conventional paths, and long-term partnerships. What your ex wants to tell you but hasn't said is that they saw a future with you that was serious and lasting. The hierophant often represents marriage, long-term commitment, the kind of relationship that follows a traditional trajectory. Your ex wants you to know that they thought about these things with you, that it wasn't just a casual connection in their mind. This is particularly meaningful for a Capricorn because you're someone who thinks long-term naturally. You don't waste time on relationships that don't have potential for something real. Your ex recognized this about you, and the Hierophant suggests that they were actually considering what a lifetime commitment to you might look like. They might have imagined proposing, imagined a wedding, imagined growing old together. These thoughts crossed their mind more than once. What they want to tell you now is that those visions felt real to them. There was a period where they genuinely believed you two could go the distance, could build the kind of stable, committed partnership that stands the test of time. The Hierophant is about shared values and beliefs, and your ex wants you to know that they felt aligned with you on the things that really matter. You probably had similar views on important topics, similar goals for what you wanted your life to look like, similar values about family or career or how to navigate the world. But here's where it gets complex. The Hierophant can also represent feeling pressured by expectations or traditions, feeling like you have to follow a certain path because it's what's expected rather than what you truly want in that moment. Your ex might want to tell you that they felt scared by how serious things were getting. The weight of long-term commitment, the reality of what it means to choose one person for the rest of your life, might have overwhelmed them. They saw that future with you, and part of them wanted it, but another part of them panicked. What your ex wants you to understand is that their fears about commitment weren't really about you. You probably would have made an amazing life partner. The doubt wasn't about whether you were the right person in terms of compatibility or values or goals. It was about their own readiness to take that step, their own internal conflicts about settling down or giving up freedom or whatever story they were telling themselves about what commitment means. The Hierophant also speaks to seeking guidance or blessing from others. And your ex might want to tell you that they cared about what other people thought more than they should have. Maybe family opinions influenced them. Maybe friends said things that planted seeds of doubt. Maybe they compared your relationship to others and let external perspectives cloud their own judgment. They want you to know that looking back, they wish they had trusted their own feelings more and listened to outside voices less. The fifth card is the Chariot, and this brings in energy of movement, determination, and moving forward, but also potentially moving in different directions. What your ex wants to tell you is that they felt like you two were heading in different directions at some point. The Chariot is about drive and ambition, and this card suggests that your ex recognized you have a strong sense of where you're going in life. You're not someone who drifts aimlessly. You have goals, plans, a clear vision for your future. Your ex wants to say that they admired this about you, but also felt intimidated by it. Your determination and focus might have made them question their own path or feel like they weren't moving fast enough or in the right direction. The Chariot can indicate that your ex felt like they couldn't keep up with you, like your ambition or your clarity about what you wanted was something they couldn't match in that season of their life. This card also speaks to control and willpower, and your ex might want to tell you that they felt like you had it all together in a way that they didn't. Capricorns often appear very composed and in control, even when you're dealing with internal struggles. Your ex might have felt inadequate in comparison, like they were still figuring things out while you already had your life mapped out. They want you to know that this wasn't your fault, that you shouldn't have had to dim your light or slow down your progress to make them feel more comfortable. The Chariot also represents victory and success, achieved through determination. And your ex wants to acknowledge that you're going to be successful in whatever you set your mind to. They see that quality in you, that unstoppable drive that Capricorns are known for. There might be a message here about them stepping back because they realized they couldn't be part of your journey in the way that would serve you best. Sometimes people leave not because they don't care, but because they recognize that staying would hold the other person back. What your ex wants to tell you is that they see you charging forward into your future. And part of them wishes they could be beside you in that chariot. But there's also an acceptance that maybe they needed to find their own chariot, their own path, their own sense of direction before they could be a true partner to someone as focused and driven as you are. This card suggests that your ex has respect for your journey even if they're no longer part of it. The final card is the Eight of Cups, and this is probably the most emotionally significant card in the entire reading. The Eight of Cups is about walking away from something, leaving behind what no longer serves you, seeking something deeper or more meaningful. What your ex wants to tell you, Capricorn, is that they left. They chose to walk away. And this decision weighs on them more than you might realize. The Eight of Cups shows a figure turning their back on cups that are stacked up, representing emotional investments, memories, time spent together. Your ex wants you to know that walking away wasn't easy. Those cups represent everything you built together, all the good moments, the love you shared, the connection you had. They didn't leave because those things were worthless. They left because they felt like they needed to search for something, though they might not even be clear on what that something is. This card often appears when someone is on a spiritual or emotional journey, seeking deeper meaning or trying to find themselves. Your ex wants to tell you that their decision to leave was about their own internal journey, their own quest for whatever they felt was missing in their life. It wasn't about you being inadequate or the relationship being bad. There's a restlessness to the Eight of Cups, a feeling that you have to leave the familiar behind to discover something unknown. What your ex really wants you to understand is that they might have made a mistake. The Eight of Cups can indicate that someone walks away searching for something better only to realize later that what they left behind was actually pretty valuable. Your ex might be in that realization phase now, looking back at what you had together and questioning whether the grass is actually greener on the other side or if they just convinced themselves it would be. This card carries a melancholic energy, a sense of loss that comes with walking away even when you believe it's the right decision. Your ex wants to tell you that they miss you. They miss what you had. They think about the choice they made and wonder about the alternate reality where they stayed and worked through whatever issues led them to leave. The Eight of Cups suggests that your ex is on their own journey now. But that journey includes looking back at what they left behind with a new perspective. There's also a message here about emotional maturity and growth. Your ex might want to tell you that they needed to leave in order to grow, to figure out who they are outside of the relationship, to deal with their own stuff that they couldn't address while being with you. The Eight of Cups can be about necessary endings that lead to personal transformation. Your ex might want you to know that leaving you was one of the hardest things they've ever done, but they felt it was necessary for reasons that had everything to do with their own journey and nothing to do with your worth as a partner. So Capricorn, looking at all 6 cards together, what your ex wants to tell you but hasn't found the words or courage to say is this: they see how amazing you are, how well you're doing, how strong and independent and successful you've become. They acknowledge that there were conflicts and that things ended messily, with words said in anger that can't be taken back. They valued what you built together, and they miss having a partner who was as committed and reliable as you were. They thought about a serious future with you, saw the potential for something lasting and real. They recognized that you two might have been heading in different directions, and they felt inadequate in the face of your clarity and determination. And ultimately, they made the choice to walk away, and that decision haunts them in ways they didn't expect. The unspoken truth is that your ex has a lot of respect and admiration for you, mixed with regret and questions about whether they made the right choice. They want you to know that you weren't the problem. You brought so much to the relationship. You were a good partner. The issues were about their own readiness, their own fears, their own need to figure things out on their own path. Does this resonate with you? Can you feel these unspoken truths in the energy between you and this person? Sometimes knowing what was left unsaid brings a sense of closure, helps us understand that the ending wasn't really about our worth or our efforts. Your ex sees you clearly now, probably more clearly than they did when you were together. And what they see is someone who is always going to be just fine with or without them.